Well, good evening, everyone. It is great to be here. There's really nowhere else I would rather be. This is such a warm community to me, and I'm really happy that you invited me to come. I really think this partnership, the Downtown Congregations to End Homelessness and the partnership with our office to end homelessness, is so unique and so incredible. And I just want you to know that everywhere I go, when I talk about the plan, I talk about this partnership with all of you as just such a critical part of what we're doing. So thank you so much. I think it's unprecedented in the country, and I certainly haven't found any other community kind of faith leadership that we have here. So it's fun to talk about. So what I thought I would do tonight is give just an extremely brief overview of sort of what the plan is for just a couple of you who may not know as much about it. Very, very brief. And then spend my time telling you how it's been going over the past 3 years, because we've just completed our 3rd year of implementation of the plan. And then spend some time telling you about where we are going from here and updates on things like the Curry Avenue Housing Partnership, which I'm really excited to talk about. And also really describe some of the challenges we're facing and some of the things that we've encountered in these last couple of years as we've been implementing this as well. So as you know, as many of you know, we all came together in 2006, faith communities and business community and people experiencing homelessness, service providers, government officials, and we created our plan to end homelessness, which is called Heading Home Hennepin. We started implementing it in January of 2007, so we've just completed our 3rd year. We have seen some tremendous successes over these 3 years, and at the same time we have seen some enormous challenge. And when we created this plan in 2006, none of us could have predicted the economic climate that we'd be working in. And certainly if you read the plan today, you'll be sort of shocked to notice that nowhere in the plan does it mention the word foreclosure. So that gives you an idea of where we were when we created the plan versus where we are now, and how, as the Office to End Homelessness and all of our partners, we've had to really adjust and work within the current challenges. But we have responded, and we've responded very well, and we have seen an increase in need in our community, no doubt, and I'll give you some data and trends about that. But because of this incredible community, not just the faith community and the business community and those of us who are partnering with us, but the service providers who do this work every day, we live in a place with some amazing nonprofit service providers. Once again, and I know I'm a little biased, but I have colleagues all over the country that are in positions that I'm in, and very few places have the kind of relationship and partnerships like we have with our nonprofit service agencies. So because of their leadership and their ability to just step up and basically do more with less, we have not seen nearly the increases in this community that communities have seen all across this country. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I can tell you, just to give a little bit of perspective, that there are 35 cities in the last couple of years that have created tent cities for people experiencing homelessness. We haven't seen anything like that here. We have seen an increase in homeless families, and we have seen a smaller increase in homeless singles, but we've responded to that need, and that trend is starting to come down for us a little bit too, and so we aren't seeing anything like some of the other communities in the country, and I really credit our nonprofit service agencies and all the partners that support them for that success. So let me go through, to start off, just a few of our successes. We'll leave the challenges for a little bit later. In the first 3 years, we have doubled the amount of prevention that we do for homeless households. From the time we started this plan until now, our goal was to get to the point where we could say we've actually doubled the amount of prevention that we're doing, and we are doing that. We also have increased the amount of rapid exit that we're doing. In other words, getting people out of shelter and into housing quickly, which was one of our main goals. We had a little boost in that effort this past year with the stimulus money from the federal government. In Minneapolis and Hennepin County, we received about $6.5 million in stimulus money dedicated specifically to homelessness prevention and rehousing. So we are spending that money. We have 3 years and we've partnered with agencies to spend that money on prevention and rehousing, and we are predicting we're going to serve about 3,000 households in 3 years with those dollars. So it was a huge boost to the work that we're doing. And let me just run through a couple of the things that we decided to fund through those dollars. Prevention for at-risk youth in schools, so it's a partnership with the Minneapolis Public Schools. Prevention for families identified through the crisis nursery. We were understanding that many families who were on the edge of homelessness or who were homeless were going to the crisis nursery and needing those prevention dollars. Assistance for refugee families in shelter and at risk of entering shelter. The expansion of a single adult rapid rehousing program, expansion of our family rapid rehousing program, getting families out of county shelter. Assistance for youth at Nicollet Square. All right, let's hear it for that. We all know how hard that was to get the service dollars for youth at Nicollet Square, and we're thrilled about that. And legal and relocation assistance for renters in foreclosing properties. One of our big challenges this year has been foreclosures, and 10% of the families in our family shelter system have come from foreclosed properties. Almost all of them are renters, so these are their landlords are getting foreclosed on. They may have been paying their rent on time and doing everything right, but their landlord gets foreclosed on, they're told they have to leave. There's no place else in the community that's affordable to them, so they end up in a shelter. So one of the things we're doing with these prevention and relocation dollars from the federal government is that we're working with those folks who are their landlords are facing foreclosure. We're making sure that tenants know their rights so they don't leave before they have to, and then we're using those dollars to actually help relocate families into affordable units that they can maintain, as opposed to having them have to enter shelter first to get assistance. So it's keeping them out of shelter. Some of the successes around development, the housing opportunities. Some of you might have remembered we created a plan that called for 5,000 new housing opportunities over the course of 10 years. In the first 2 years, we'd created 1,128 of them. So we were just approximately. So we were on track. This past year has been more challenging. Housing development has been much more challenging for lots of reasons that I'll talk about in a second. So I would say that we're probably about 1,500 housing opportunities so far in the first 3 years. So I think our progress has slowed down a little bit this past year. But with that said, 1,500 new housing opportunities have been created, and these are all, the only way we count a housing opportunity is if it's affordable to somebody at 30% and below area median income. So the very lowest income folks in our community. Lots of affordable housing is being created. Well, I shouldn't say lots. Some affordable housing is being created. But oftentimes it's at 50, 60% of area median income, sometimes even 80%. They'll still call that affordable housing. We don't count any of that. It has to be affordable to people who are experiencing homelessness, which is more like 30, 20, 15% of area median income. Another success in development is that even during this economic time when everybody's slashing their budgets and nobody wants to fund anything new, we convinced the Hennepin County Board, with some of your assistance, that we should fund the creation of 2 opportunity centers. And these are basically, how many of you have been to Project Homeless Connect? Yeah, this is why I love you. This is, so most of you know all about Project Homeless Connect. Well, so Project Homeless Connect, for those of you who don't, it's a one-stop shop service event for people who are homeless. So we bring multiple services all to the Minneapolis Convention Center, about 400 service providers, and at that time we can serve people all in one place with the needs that they have. Well, it's been a good model. It certainly has been very efficient and effective at getting people what they need. What we are hearing from people who are experiencing homelessness is that this is really great, but it's 2 times a year. We need this more often. So we have created 2 new opportunity centers. One is going to be for single adults at Catholic Charities Branch 3 on the corner of 17th and Chicago. And on that site, it's already an existing site that they're going to build out and co-locate multiple service providers to serve people when they walk in the door there. So it's going to be a much more effective way to get people the services they need. There's another one that we're creating for homeless youth at YouthLink in downtown Minneapolis. Same thing, they have an existing space. The capital will be used to build out that space so that multiple service providers can all locate there in that one spot, so kids don't have to go all over town to get connected to what they need. So another really exciting adventure, and I think we were able to convince the county board that it was a more efficient and effective way for these agencies to do what we expect them to do, but with really limited resources. If they're working together and they're actually located in the same place, they can be more effective, and not every nonprofit agency will feel like they themselves have to do the entire continuum of care. They can partner with others to make sure that they're serving people in need.